Hi everyone! Welcome back to my 11-month video. You know what, before we get started, I feel like hyping you guys up. So you watching this right now, you look so good. I don't care if you're in bed and you have a double chin or triple chin, or if you look messy or your hair's not done. You look great because you look human, because you are a human, and this is what humans look like. You and humans are beautiful. So with that, I'd like to get into the topic for today's video, which is going to be pretty spicy, I guess. It's all about like unpacking and destroying and deconstructing the male gaze. I guess this might be kind of like a left-leaning political view. So if you like, for some reason, have trouble with like feminism or like liberal politics, just click off this video or just like watch it, but don't comment anything negative because this is literally just trying to help people. So the reason I wanted to talk about this topic is because for me, this past month has basically been about destroying that male gaze, you know, that I think played a big role in a lot of our eating disorders. Like personally for me, and I'm sure a lot of other people can resonate with this, for me, like one of the things is I thought if I would get skinny, I would get a boyfriend or I would get male attention, which happened, but no more or less than it happened before. Like there was really not a difference. In fact, I was just like even more insecure than before, so like I would not know how to deal with that kind of attention. But yeah, that's really dumb, and I'm gonna teach you how to really let go of that. And of course, like this video may be more helpful for like cis women who are straight or like male leaning in terms of sexual preference. But honestly, I think everyone is affected by this issue, like whether you're not straight or whether you're a man. Like we live under a patriarchy and the male gaze is so prominent in every single aspect of our lives, and I think it's really important to recognize that. Okay, I'm gonna put my hair up for a second just because we'll see. I might take it back down. Honestly, I get so indecisive when I'm filming these videos because I don't know what's looking good or what's bad. Also, today I am wearing a layer of concealer. I just thought I'd be open about that just because I bought new makeup, and so I'm like, I'm gonna use that makeup. Let's go back to patriarchy. You, me, everyone in living in some form of Western society, actually most societies in general, lives under patriarchy. Now, patriarchy is a system, okay? Just like how racism is a system. There's a lot of systems that exist within every society. So when I talk about men in this case, I'm not pointing out your brother or your dad, and I'm not saying that he individually is evil. So just keep that in mind. But in the system of patriarchy, men inherently benefit. It doesn't matter if they're the sweetest person alive, men are inherently benefiting from this system that they're living in, which means they're inherently put in a position of privilege, which also gives them a lot of power. Some of that power is like easily recognizable, you know, like men's emotions will always be validated, whereas women will be told that they're overreacting. Here's the thing, you know, girls, you've probably been told you're emotional at some point, but a man's anger is an emotion, but a man's anger will never be deemed as emotional, you know? So things like that. But it goes so deep, like I don't even know how to describe how deep it goes, to the point where like men have power that they don't even realize they have, which made me angry. Like when I was thinking about that, I was like, that sucks. It made me so angry, which got me personally to be like, screw that. A man has to earn my respect. Like if a man is inherently hoarding so much power and oppressing me so much, why do I take that further and try to appeal to him? No, it should be the other way around. There has been a lot of damage done from men to women, and this holds true for non-binary people too. Like if you're non-binary, a straight man has likely bullied you at some point. I'm gonna undo my hair again because yeah. So going back, this made me really angry, and so I was like, nah, like something in me switched. If you're in a situation where you're nervous or you're anxious or you just think you're overreacting, you're doubting your action or your behavior, ask yourself, would a straight white man be ashamed of his behavior? I do that a lot because sometimes I feel like I'm taking up too much space. Like if I speak up on something, I'm just like, wow, am I hoarding too much attention? No. Would a straight white man worry about that? No. There's a lot more research that you can do and that goes into this, but you know, I came to the conclusion that I really, like, once and for all, need to let that go. Which is a really hard thing to do. Like, even non-ED women, or like, yeah, people who don't have EDs, or are like somehow somewhat affected by the male gaze. It's really frustrating. And it's really frustrating because you don't know how deep it runs, right? Like, you could say that, oh, I don't dress for men, I dress for myself. Or I don't do makeup for men, I do it for myself, which is totally fine. You can tell when a girl is dressing for a man versus a female gaze, because, you know, there are certain behavioral, like, for example, if I do like fairy makeup and like have clouds on my eyes and I'm wearing super colorful stuff, that's likely not for a man, that is for me, right? Which is totally valid. But then you have to ask yourself, like, why do I feel empowered when I'm pretty? Right? Right? It's like, I feel great when I put makeup on, I feel great when I look good. That's awesome. That's true, it's valid. But why? The conditioning is so deep. We attach value and worth to our appearance. And just because, like, now we say it's not for guys, it's for us, doesn't mean the core problem has changed. Which is why I believe in body neutrality so much. So you guys might have, like, heard of the body positive movement and probably the body neutrality movement. And the reason that people are kind of upset with the body positivity movement is because it still places that emphasis on appearance, right? It still says every body is beautiful and that's why it's valuable. That's why you're worthy. But the truth is, like, sometimes it's hard to feel like your body is beautiful, right? And the problem is, once that body positivity, once that attractiveness is, like, damaged, or once, like, your confidence slips for a second, it all falls apart. It crumbles. The whole body positivity thing crumbles because it's still attaching value to your appearance. On the other hand, body neutrality is like, who cares? We have a body. That's it. That is enough worth and value, right? Like, that's makes me valid enough. And I love that, and that's something I think you guys know, like, I've been practicing that my entire recovery journey, is look past that, like, past that first layer of just physicality, and just, like, seeing the best in people, and it's been really good for me. And I'm still practicing that, but I feel like this past month I really nailed it in. So wherever you are in your recovery journey, I highly recommend thinking about these things, researching them at a deep level. There's a lot of research about this. And at a point, you'll get, like, angry enough, or you'll get emotional enough to realize that the whole patriarchal system, that all these standards make no sense, and then that's it, they'll crumble. It'll hold no more meaning for you. Another thing that made me angry was that, like, women are taught the male gaze growing up, right? Like, media, movies, everything teaches us this is what a man wants, and we learn how to adapt to that and figure that out, right? But men are never taught what a woman wants. They learn what women want through other men. So technically, men learn the female gaze through the male gaze, which means men end up appealing to men. And this is why so many, like, straight guys get confused when a girl likes a soft boy, or when, like, guys paint their nails. Like, you know, a lot of girls like that. A lot of girls like it when men are emotional or more feminine. That's why, like, a lot of women love, like, male characters in storybooks, because those books are written by women. So those men are written through the female gaze. Or boy bands and K-pop. All of those things appeal to the female gaze. A lot of straight Western men don't understand it, because they're like, they look like girls. Like, why do you like men like that? Because to them, being manly, being attractive, is being buff and being all these, like, really toxically masculine standards. Again, bodies are not important, but I also, like, I'm not gonna fall head over heels for someone who's, like, jacked. Does not make a difference for me. Okay, to summarize, since that was kind of all over the place, 1, stop caring what men think. 2, make men earn your respect. And 3, focus on body neutrality instead of body positivity. Self-love is great, but self-love goes beyond the body. I think what the body positivity movement has done is it has said, you should love your rolls, you should love your cheeks, you should love your hair, which is great. Like, you can love those things, but it has attached the entirety of your worth to those things, right? Like, self-love goes beyond just loving my rolls, loving my hair, you know, but with body positivity, it's kind of, like, all placed on that. So just something to think about and something to reflect on. I hope that made somewhat sense. But the next thing I would like to discuss is socializing. So I think Anna or Anna, again, on my last video left a comment talking about, like, you know, how are you getting ready for socializing? Like, how are you going to deal with people who make comments on your body? Thankfully for me, no one has commented on it yet. One of the reasons maybe is because I've been like very vocal about my recovery. Like, I'm totally an open book about it. I've told all my friends about it. I've tweeted about it to like everyone who goes to my school. So I think like a lot of people already know that what's happening to my body is a conscious process. But you know, when it comes to family and like other friends, I'm sure that some of them don't know, and the only comments I've received are like from my older family members who like say I look healthy, or you know, they use words in my language that technically mean like maybe like chubby or like lively, but I know that they're saying it from a very good place and they're very proud of me. But unfortunately, I know that not everyone has support systems like that. So if someone does comment on your appearance in a negative way, first of all, I recommend, you know, taking it with a grain of salt, especially if they don't know what you're going through. This is something I've really been working on, is like when someone misunderstands you or when they judge you, do not immediately take that. Don't make it part of yourself. Like, this is something I always do. If someone judges me, I'm like, oh no, that's who I am now, which it's not. It's a misunderstanding, right? So don't give their words value if they offend you. Two, like, you have come so far. It is really not worth one person saying something to throw you off, you know? And I wouldn't get anxious about people saying things. I am moving out really soon and I will be living with my friends. And I was nervous. Like, a few months ago, I would have been like really nervous. But at this point, I'm like, no one's gonna say anything. I'm just gonna continue. You know, it's hot girl summer. Also, when someone says something, this is personally me because I like to be vulnerable and open. You can tell them. You can tell them, yeah, I've actually been recovering from an eating disorder, or like tell them whatever you want. Not that you ever need a reason to like for your body to change, but for me it makes me more comfortable because I feel like people can empathize with it. And I also like think it's empowering to just share your story. But no matter what, don't consume people's judgment. Just let it bounce off you and let it, because it's a reflection of them, right? Oh, I love this. Wow, look at my analogies. Everyone's judgment is just a reflection of them. It's a reflection of what they are insecure about. So just let it bounce off you. And then in terms of socializing, each one of you better not be scared to go out, because it is summer. In America, at least, like, we have vaccines and we're vaccinated, so there will be some form of social movement, and you should really take advantage of that after everything you've been through. Of course, if you're comfortable. Honestly, you can think of it as part of your healing journey. Remember, recovery is not like this thing that you do, you put your life aside and you recover and then you come back to life. No, you know, the two go hand in hand. You're still living. Just because you're recovering doesn't mean you can't live. And in terms of socializing, I'm so excited because my personality is back. In social situations before, I remember like a lot of my attention and focus was like on comparison or like the food at the event or what I look like. And I'm so excited to have like another 2 years of college where that's not it, like where I'm genuinely just being present with my friends and I don't care what I'm consuming. It's gonna be so good, and it's such a good change. I guess that's another thing that I've been doing kind of unconsciously, is like reframing things as if they're good. Even when I look in the mirror, like sometimes, you know, I look in the mirror and I'm like, not a good face day. But then I'm like, wait a second, pause and call your face pretty right now. So I look in the mirror and I'm like, wow, I look so good. My face is so pretty. And like something literally like gears shift or something, and that's it. Like then you're fine, and then you think you're pretty. Anyway, and again with socializing, cut people off. Cut off whoever doesn't serve you. It's so much better to have 1-2 close friends than to try to impress everyone. And that's part of the lesson. That's one of the lessons we're trying to learn with this journey, right? Is like prioritizing yourself, prioritizing your inner peace instead of being a people pleaser. Again, I think I've said this quote before, but align with your most authentic self so that everyone who truly loves you can come closer and everyone who doesn't can simply move out of the way. That's by Heinz. I love him. But yeah, just keep repeating that to yourself. No matter how hard this journey gets, keep prioritizing yourself. Okay? Okay, in terms of physical stuff, honestly, I don't know. I didn't check my weight this time. I don't know if I will. I went to the doctors and they checked my weight, but I feel better. I think I'm looking more like myself, more like the me that I've like known my entire life. Hunger is pretty normal. Oh yeah, I wanted to address a comment that was on my last video. So I think someone commented that I shouldn't be worried about my weight and that I should just be mindful eating, and they like left a comment and I replied to it and I said, oh yeah, don't worry, like I mindfully eat and I lift weights like occasionally. And then I don't want that to be taken out of context because it does sound like disordered, but it's not. So when I said mindfully eat, I literally just meant like eat whatever I want until I'm physically and mentally full. That's mindful to me. I don't like the word extreme hunger because it makes your hunger seem abnormal, right? But everyone in recovery, like, that is your hunger. Like, that's what you need at this stage. So it's not extreme, it's normal. And also in terms of lifting weights, I'm not like at the gym, like like lifting weights. No, I'm at like at home body workouts. But also that's not continuous. Like when I say like 3 times a week, that's not like, that doesn't mean I've been doing it 3 times a week for my entire recovery. In fact, the past 2 weeks I have not worked out. 1, because I was on my period, and then 2, the second week I got like the vaccine and I was just dead. And honestly, the past few days I've just been really lazy. I just don't feel like it, which is fine. You're gonna have some weeks where you do want to move and some weeks where it's like, nah, I'm lazy. So, oh yeah, and I guess speaking of like not working out, it's definitely interesting to like actually work out and not really have it correlate to weight, because again, I didn't work out for the past 2 weeks and nothing has really changed except for my strength, because I tried doing squats and that was hard. I think that's it from me. If this video was too fast, I'm sorry. And then again, like always, leave any comments or questions in the comments and I'll see you next time for 1 year. For 1 year. Oh, I forgot. I also wanted to add something about attachment. Basically, I made a little animation about it, but a lot of your problems, such as like socializing or, you know, whatever it may be, the fear that you have is because you have an attachment to your old self. So it's really important to release that attachment, and even moving forward, be very conscious of where you hold your attachments. That makes no sense, so let me just insert the video. People often tell us that we need to let go of our attachments. An attachment could be a person or a habit, but how exactly can we let go of things like this? Well, if you hold your attachment within you, you end up identifying with it. And once you do that, it's really hard to let things go because you feel like you're losing yourself. And if something really goes wrong, such as, you don't get the job offer you wanted, it can consume you. But if you keep your attachments at a distance, it's easier to peacefully say goodbye to them when you need to. After all, everything passes. This is my first time wearing like normal clothes. Like I feel like confident enough to wear stuff that I usually wear. Okay, so I added this little lavender cardigan thing that I got from Urban, and I'm gonna pair this with like some these like really retro, they're like the only pair of shoes I have at home, but they're like these retro Nikes that are like orange and blue, so it's like kind of like a pastel look. And oh, also I did my hair. I've had bangs, by the way. I've had my bangs for like a few months, but I just hide them because they barely look good.